watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thanks for joining us on this Tuesday for DC News Now at 5. I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Annalisa Gale. Happening right now, thousands of people in the district are showing solidarity in support of Israel.
Yeah, a huge rally wrapping up, and now many are making their way out of the National Mall area. Our Dave Laval is there, where the rally cry was for Hamas to release the hostages.
Now, more than 200 hostages is the number they're calling for there, Dave.
Mark and Annalisa, what we can tell you is the event wrapped up just a short time ago. You had people excited to gather with Jews from around the country and even as far away as Canada, all to show their love of Israel. A sea of people filled the mall as they shouted chants and sang songs and heard speeches. Lots of joy could be found here despite heightened tensions. Extra security was brought in from the local and federal levels, including the National Guard, to help keep the peace. Fortunately, we did not see anything major happen during the 3-hour rally. There were also calls from the crowd for Hamas to release the hostages taken during its October 7th attack and to end anti-Semitism. Overall, today was all about Jewish people of various backgrounds coming together to display their feelings for Israel.
It's an incredible scene. The Jewish people are here in force, in numbers, to proclaim essentially we will not be silenced, that we need to be protect and defend ourselves. We're going to stand up for our homeland, the nation state, the Jewish people, Israel, and we're not going to be cowered into silence.
We did see one arrest, but there has been no word yet on how many people may have been taken into custody. We're live on the National Mall. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Dave, thank you. Well, new at 5, 2 people have been rescued in Northwest Washington. DC Fire and EMS say they were in an elevator on the side of a television broadcast tower on Nebraska Avenue. Right now, questions still remain as to how that elevator got stuck.
Well, turning to the campaign trial in Virginia, ballots have now finished being counted in Loudoun County when the prosecutor between progressive prosecutor Buddha Biberai and Republican challenger Bob Anderson.
And right now, DC News Now's Haley Milan is joining us live outside the Department of Elections there with more on who the winner was just declared there. Hey, Haley.
Annalisa, Mark, just 2 hours or so ago, a week of waiting has finally wrapped up. The Loudoun County Department of Elections declaring that Bob Anderson toppled incumbent Buddha Biberai, the Democratic incumbent, by just 300 votes. This is a race that generated over 130,000 ballots, coming down to, again, just 300 votes. It took an entire week to call because of how close it was. The Office of Elections waiting on write-in ballots and counting provisional ballots. Going into today, Anderson was ahead by just 1,100 votes. What's really astonishing is Biberai's campaign spent over $1 million. Anderson's spent just about $70,000. I spoke to Anderson live in our last hour of news. He says his election to a seat he held from 1996 to 2003 is a statement about progressive prosecution in Virginia, that voters want a prosecutor who will be tougher on crime.
I think people just got fed up to some extent with what's been going on here in the county, and that message resonated to both parties, both party voters.
Bob Anderson returning to a seat that he knows quite well from his time in that seat over 2 decades ago. Now, coming up in our next hour of news, Biberai could request a recount, given that the margin of her loss was less than 1% of the total votes cast in this election. I'll have more reaction coming up at 6. For now, in Loudoun County, Haley Milan, DC News Now.
All right, Haley, thank you. Well, taking a live look outside at the National Cathedral, it looked a little dark in Haley's live shot, but it's still a little light out there.
I know, right at 5:05. It's been a nice 2 days to start the week. Let's head over now to meteorologist Damon Matson with the first look at the forecast. Damon, let's talk about 3 in a row, man.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, we've had this nice stretch of weather going on for these last several days. You go back to the weekend, you can extend that streak even more so. And overall today, well, we kept a little bit of chill in the air, but as we saw a lot of that sunshine, temperatures managed to get just above 60 degrees from a line here right along I-66 from D.C. all the way out to Woodstock and southward. That's where you found those 60s as you went north, not too far off, but just down into the upper 50s across much of north central western Maryland and the eastern panhandle there of West Virginia. We're seeing things cool down, of course, now that that sun has set at this early hour. Temperatures already falling quickly through the 50s, and before we know it, we're going to see those readings back down in the 40s with the very clear sky sticking around. So no question, folks, bundle up a little bit if you're going to be out and about here on this Tuesday evening as we make it all the way to the mid-40s by the 8 o'clock hour. And with clear skies, calm winds lasting through the night. Never too early to plan a little bit ahead here. And we are talking about pretty crisp, possibly frosty conditions out there by early tomorrow morning. You may need that extra few minutes to warm up the car as you get ready for your Wednesday. But look at this, folks. Clear skies, they're going to be sticking around as we roll into Wednesday. So the question is, how much longer is this rather dry, sunny streak going to last? And on top of that, we've had some very crisp mornings, cool afternoons. Are we about to see a little bit of a warm up with our temperatures moving forward as well? We'll have a full check of that forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser issued a new public emergency in the district over violence involving kids. D.C. News Now's Lex Juarez has the latest.
Well, one of the biggest things that this emergency order does is make sure that there are more space available for kids at shelters and secure facilities. But a concern amongst community advocates for children and youth is that this isn't addressing the root problem of violence and trauma. Now, another issue and concern that they have is that they say this also doesn't address the lack of resources that the kids caught up in violence and trauma need. Now, the order lets the district bypass administrative red tape to find places for the youth at different homes and treatment centers, and it incentivizes private providers to open up more space for girls specifically. It's also going to speed up renovations at the Youth Services Center. All of this that will open up beds for kids. However, there's a concern among community advocates that we need more than just detention, and they say that the focus needs to be shifted towards prevention. However, Mayor Bowser's team does say that the order helps with finding necessary rehabilitation.
We don't want our young people in secure detention. And we're working ways to find ways in a challenging system to identify and provide rehabilitative services and supports.
Now, on top of this emergency order, Mayor Bowser also issued a separate emergency order, that one related to the opioid crisis. According to Mayor Bowser's team, since 2018, the number of opioid-related fatal deaths in the city have nearly doubled. In 2022 alone, that number recorded was over 450. In Washington, I'm Lex Juarez, D.C. News Now.
Lex, thank you. And over in Maryland, Governor Wes Moore visited the Asian American Cultural Center in Frederick today. He cut the ribbon on the new child care facility there, touting the importance of early childhood education. This new center is one way, he says, to push forward the governor's volunteer initiative, Maryland Volunteer Corps. Now, the program helps high school graduates work in communities before going to college or joining the job market.
Just to stave off loneliness, we all know in a post-pandemic world how seniors have been hit by loneliness, which can cause depression and lead to despair. And so this program guards against that.
A pathway to figure out where they fit. Those that need time and space to figure out where their interests and abilities align to bring them purpose. Our service year program is very much designed for them to find their purpose, even if they don't yet know what the next chapter is going to be in their professional or educational journey.
And officials also say that high school graduates completing their year of service can be eligible for a $6,000 scholarship to enroll in college.